Hey, Easter egg.
Oh, money.
Sing your favorite song. Favorite song.
A one, two, three.
I got a feeling tonight's gonna be a good night. Tonight's gonna be a good night. Happy Easter sa lahat ng mga taga-barangay Ginebra at sa lahat ng PBA fans. God bless.
Uy, may itlog. Patingin nga. Show us your best dance move. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. May bilog, may ugis, itlog. May bilog, may ugis, itlog. Ow! Ow! Sa lahat ng PBA fans, Happy Easter Sunday sa inyong lahat.
There you go, folks. Your favorite PBA players giving you a special Easter Sunday treat. Happy Easter from everyone here at the Big Dome, the Arnold Coliseum, as we punctuate Holy Week with great basketball action here in the 35th season of the PBA. And you just enjoyed a very special treat from the players of Ginebra and Coca, who are set to square off today here in the Big Dome. My name is Leah Cruz here at courtside, and coming up in just a bit on Solar TV, it's going to be the Barangay Ginebra Kings up against the Coca-Cola Tigers.
And this is the PBA Easter Sunday presentation live on Solar TV. What kind of story will all the story offer in tonight's ball game? Yan ang storyline para sa mga Ginebra fans. They're wondering what kind of game story will provide as they face the Red Hot Coca-Cola Tigers in our second game today from the Araneta Coliseum. Again, this is PBA Easter Sunday here on Solar TV. Nico Alili here alongside the good Dr. J. Andy Howe. One team is undefeated and the other team looking for their bearings. Kumbaga sa Ginebra, looking for the right blend, the right mix, the right cocktail to come up with the best kind of flavor for the Fiesta Conference.
Well, one thing for them obviously is the fact that the locals are healthy, so that's a good sign for them. They want to look at what their import can give them. Against the Tocantex team, he had a very good performance of 33 points and double figures in rebounds. Then all of a sudden, and Kelly Williams picked him up, and the whole Santa Lucia team, noted for its defense, they shut him down to only 13 points. Some of those points were garbage points also because it came in the end of the fourth quarter when Santa Lucia was way ahead. So obviously it's a time for adjustment for all this story, and this might be a crucial test for him at Ginebra. Obviously after this game has a long layoff, they don't play for weeks, one more than 8 days and then another week. So it's a time for them to adjust and see if he will be the right import for them in the following games that they have to play.
The problema ni Story is look at his numbers. Napalaki ng drop-off from his first game against the Trop of Dexters to his last game against the Realtors.
Well, everybody has an off night, no? But sa atin nga, because you are an import, you're expected to perform at a level that will always be sufficient for the team to have a good performance. His rebounding continues to be high, even in the game against Santa Lucia, 22 rebounds. But he had 8 turnovers and only 13 points, and he did not have good free throw shooting as well as field goal percentage in that game.
And from the Ginebra import, let's go to the battle in the backcourt. Ginebra, as always, will be led by the Fast and the Furious. But Coca-Cola, this team is not undefeated for no reason. And Gary David is having a great Fiesta Conference so far.
Well, I've talked to him. He came in very early today. He came in before 4 o'clock, and actually I told him, I think you found your home. Gary has always wanted to be able to have a long contract with the team. This team really wants him. And I think if he's healthy, he's going to be one of the key players for Coca-Cola in the next few years. So look at his numbers. They're big. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2.7 assists, 1.7 steals per game. Together with Chico Lanierte, a good acquisition, a guy that used to play for the Barangay Ginebra squad. They've also helped their team with 9 points. If you go to the other side naman, you have Mark Agiwa and Helterbrand. They're also averaging in double figures. And like I said, that's a good sign there for Barangay Ginebra because those two guys are healthy in this conference.
Now, we talked about Ovi Story. Ovi Story, the import of Ginebra, right now, an unpredictable commodity, entity. But for James Penny, nothing unpredictable about James Penny. You know exactly what you're going to get.
Well, he's come back to the Philippines several times now. Even if James Penny doesn't score a lot, James is a very good rebounder as well as a very good defender. He's also an excellent shot blocker because of his timing. Now, today again, he'll be tested because he's going up against a tough team that also plays a little bit physical. Sometimes James doesn't like people playing physical against him. He has the tendency to complain, looking for the fouls. And, you know, there are many players on the Ginebra squad that can really get this goal. So we'll see about James. But his scoring has been there because Bo Perasol, as he has said in the papers, has asked him to score. He's averaging close to 30 points a game on almost 60% field goal percentage, 10.7 rebounds, 3.3 assists, and 2 blocks per game, which is #1 in the league right now.
And for more on the Tigers, let's go to Magu Marsha.
Thanks, Miko. Bring the game to Barangay Ginebra. That is the battle cry that is written on the whiteboard inside the dugout of the Coca-Cola Tigers. Coach Bob Barasol told us that Good Friday was the only day that they took off this past week, and he was pleasantly relieved that come Black Saturday, everybody came in focused. For today, the Tigers want to be the aggressor on both sides of the ball. They need to minimize the crowd-pleasing plays of Ginebra by bringing the game to the half court, and also be wary of the Kings swingmen, who are at the bottom of the three-point shooting leaderboard, but might just explode today. That is what's going on over at Coca-Cola. Let's send it over to Leah for a report on Ginebra.
All right, thanks, Miko and Dr. J. We're actually talking about it earlier. Ginebra is coming off a loss to Santa Lucia, and Coach John said before the game they are actually still trying to find the magic formula in this conference. They're going through a lot of adjustments as a team. Last conference, JJ Helterman and Mark Agiwa were out with injuries. They're back now, so players like Ronald Tubid and JC and Tal are going through a lot of adjustments in terms of learning new roles and playing lesser minutes. So this is a challenge that may face every conference actually, since Ginebra's lineup is constantly changing. So Coach Jong told me that today they are working on getting their offense going. They have to contain Asi Taulava, Gary David, and James Penny while trying to execute on their offense. Miko and Dr. J, back to you guys.
I suppose in this stage of the tournament, this is when you address all those adjustment issues. You bring in players who were injured before, hopefully make them blend with the other players who are healthy. And then you have a mix that on paper looks good, but siyempre iba yung nasa papel at iba yung lumalabas on the court.
Yeah, especially if you're a star player, because it's really hard for the others to adjust to you. For example, a Mark Agiwa, he's got to have the touches, you know, and he's going to take a lot more shots. Then, for example, like a Juti Valenzuela, who's already ready to play. When are they going to allow him to play? He's not a guy that's going to look for a lot of shots, but he'll do other things for your team, so it's easier for him to adjust. So these are the things that you look for in a squad. But habang maaga pa, madali naman gawin yan. Eh, alam naman natin, like for example, the Spark, he really is a player that is an offensive player. That's what you look for him. He gets the crowd riled up, he gets his team pumped up. When they're behind, he can do a lot of things to really get their game going. There's Obi Story being introduced right now together with Ronald Tubit. Ronald's played so far without much injuries. It's really been a big help to the cause of the Ginebra campaign.
And now, please welcome the starting five on the York.
And the Coca-Cola Tigers going into this game undefeated. Ang laking bagay talaga, Dr. J, when you get an import that you, number one, that you like, number two, that gives you points and rebounds, a lot of hard work and a lot of hard defense, and an import who has no problems at all sharing the stage with local players.
Yeah, there's no problem for James. James is a true professional. Before he played here, I think he played in Mexico. When I first got him here into the country in 2006, he also come from another country. I mean, he's just looking for a job, not really looking for very high pay. Philippines doesn't pay high compared to the European squad.